Well, hello. Welcome to another video. This isn't actually about Cambodia, but I was lying in bed the other night listening to the warm, cool hum of the air conditioner, listening to the lizards scratching about, I suppose. Perhaps they were, perhaps they weren't, I don't know. Anyway, keep me cool during the night. This video is about one of those occasions, and people have them, about life's little triumphs. And I would take you back to the late 1970s, I think. Not sure the year, but around that time. The year 1973 is not the year this happened, but it's quite a significant year in that two important things happened in 1973. The small criminal cases, small claims court was established. It's made it easier for people in smaller businesses, smaller setups, with small disputes to resolve them quite quickly without going to a full county court or whatever. And the second one was that we joined the EEC as it was then, which later became the Common Market. And the reason the EEC is important is that because we joined the EEC then, we had to introduce VAT. Now, you'll see why VAT becomes important later in the video, but let's just leave it at that. So that's back to 1973. This occurrence that I'm going to talk about, which is about the use of without prejudice in a legal document, becomes important. In the late 70s, me and my first wife, who shall be nameless, protect the identity of the innocent, decided we were going to sell the house. Now at the time, the local paper, which was the Rochdale Observer, was printed twice a week. It had its own printing presses, its own journalism, its own sales team, advertising, etc., etc. It had a glass-fronted front on Drake Street in Rochdale, which I think was modelled on the Express offices in Manchester, so you could actually see the printing presses at work if you walk past on the right days. Anyway, so at that time, late 70s shall we call it, not sure of the year, I could look it up but I can't be bothered, we decided we were going to sell the house. In the local Observer, in the local advertising bit of the Observer, was an estate agent, and he didn't have to be qualified at the time as an estate agent. I don't know whether they do now, perhaps someone will advise me. And he was advertising a no sale, no fee deal. And we thought, that sounds good. If we don't sell it, we don't pay. Great. Fantastic. So we had it valued, can't remember the value, can't even remember the house actually. But anyway, very valued, we got a contract through the post, which was made on a duplicating machine. Anybody my age, and I'm 70, will remember that duplicating machines were the precursors of photocopiers, where they had a drum and some horrible chemicals. And this photocopy, this duplicate, no, can't call it a photocopy, it's a duplicate. This came out in a pink ink. It faded with time and was blurred. Couldn't read a bloody word of it. Couldn't see anywhere where we had to sign it. And why should we sign a contract if we're on no sell, no fee? So we didn't sign anything. Kept the contract for what it was worth, even though he couldn't read it. And And after about 2 months, 3 months, the house hadn't sold. We got a bill off the estate agent. I said to my first wife, I'm not paying that. And she looked at him, she had a bit of a worried look on her face, so we're just not paying it. It said on here, no sell, no fee. So we got a couple of reminders about this bill from the estate agent, still not paying it. So I went to the Observer offices, got a back copy of the papers with the advert in it, got them to actually reprint the advert bit because they still keep the plates. Would you believe they keep the plates? Well, there you go, you see. And they were very good about it. So I had that as a backup. Next communication we get off the estate agent is, oh, we're taking it to the small claims court. Oh, are we? Okay. And I think, I can't remember what the limit was. I know that when the small claims court was introduced, it was £75 was the limit. I think it had gone up a bit then, but I can't remember the exact amount. So what I decided, because my first wife was actually getting a bit jittery about it. So I said, well, why don't we offer them half the money? And we'll pay them half the money, and if they accept, we're clear, and you can stop worrying about it. Now, at the time, I was having an after work drink, and I used to drink with a couple of solicitors. So I took their advice, and they said, made them an offer, mark it without prejudice. So they explained to me that without prejudice can't be produced in court, as a legal document. It is without prejudice. We're not admitting any guilt, there's no prejudice there. This is basically it. We just want this settled out of court, quickest way, no problem, no hassle, The estate agent rejected it. I'll tell you a bit about that later. So we're off to court. We have a court date set, and I think the Crown Court in Rochdale was in the Town Hall Square, which just happens to be next to a pub called the White Horse. So we went in the White Horse, and this is where the VAT bit comes in, because we had a couple of vodka and tonics, shall we say. We didn't want to go in there smelling of alcohol, did we? No, we didn't. So just for a bit of Dutch courage, we had a couple of vodka and tonics, passed in the Town Hall Square, went into the court, and there's the registrar, there's me, the first wife, and the estate agent, and who shall remain nameless. People know who it is actually by the year of what's going on here, but anyway, it matters not. I haven't named him or her. Anyway, so we go in court, and we're sat in an appropriately sized room with the registrar, judge, whatever you want to call him, at the top of the table. Me and my first wife halfway down, and the estate agent opposite, who shall still remain nameless. Things are proceeding. I've got my evidence all set out in front of me. I've got the no win, no fee, advertisement, etc., the bad photocopy, the no request to sign a contract, no proof of signature of a contract or anything. So I'm quite confident we'll win the case anyway. We're halfway through this, and he's presenting his evidence, and he comes up with this letter that I've written to him offering him half the money. So I raised my hand, because I was taught to do that as a good boy at grammar school. Raised my hand and said, Your Honour, I object to that because I think it says without prejudice on the top of it. And the registrar judge said, oh, let me have a look at that. And he said, oh, so it does. So he immediately found in my favour, said the case is dismissed, I find in Mr. Sunderland's favour, Right, fine. He then proceeds to warn the estate agent, if he does that again, he could be fined X amount, jailed, Said, if you ever do that again, and if I ever see you in this court again, unspotted, solicited, then that's it, you don't come into this court. And that was it. So where did we go? Straight back to the pub. Thank you very much. I've never seen my wife so happy, I think. Anyway, so later on in a week, after a week or so, I was in the pub again with my lawyer friends and telling them this story. And then they did tell me the background. They said that, well, he actually was employed he had employed one of these solicitors that I drank with, who obviously didn't tell me at the time. But he said he sacked me because I told him he was going to lose, because I knew he was up against you, which gave me a lot of confidence, of course. I got loads of brownie points for that. He said, and then he decided to do it on his own, and he dropped his bombshell like that. Anyway, That's arrogance of estate agent for you. I don't know whether they're governed now or not. I mean, people always say, yeah, you should be wary of car salesmen, etc. But I'd be wary of estate agents, or I would be then. Anyway, that's what I'm going to say on the matter. But that's one of those life's little moments when you win and you go, yes, done it. And you all get them, whatever it be. But take those little wins, because there aren't many, just take them. And that's all for now. So, bye-bye.